me for today's demo. We'll be talking about WAF as a service, and I am looking forward to any of your questions you might have. And let's get started. First, why is WAF from Checkpoint any different? And and then let's go from there and do some other have and hold on one second. There we go. I have a little bit of a technical issue here. Demo. Let's go and let's share. 1 second. Presentation, share screen. There we go. We're gonna share my screen and let's get started. There we go. So let's take a look. So this is our agenda. We're gonna comparing our WAF with what is currently out there. Our solution is very much different, and I'm going to mention some of the differences that our security solution provides versus some of the other deployments you might currently have. As part of our offering, WAF is a part of overall a CNAP CloudGuard solution that includes WAF, that includes cloud native application protection platform, and includes also cloud firewall and threat prevention, so network prevention for private and public clouds. As all environments out there, we do provide protection for the front door. We can provide protection for service door, and then for the entirety of cloud environment, whether it is based on access, based on malicious content, whether it is attack of a variety of ways. We will secure your platform as an overall goal of our CNAP. So WAF network security goes a front door. We include a full API protection, network protections, and AI-based protections. So network security also can secure the service door, and normally is meant for that. And then finally, we have segmentation within the network protection, and within CI/CD pipeline, we have our CNAP solution. That is overall platform. Here are we currently discuss machine learning, API discovery, bot protection, then DDoS protection, API, file security, IPS, OWASP 10. That's going to be part of the WAF protection. We have best-in-class network security that works as well across platforms, whether you live in a public or private cloud. Then we have other parts of a CNAP solution, anything from all the way left to the code security. Then we have management of the access. Then we have container, workload vulnerability, inventory, best practices, compliance standards, and so on and so on. That is a part of our unified CloudGuard platform. Risk management is included, and one-click onboarding as well. So from there, let's first address some of the problems we might uncover in what you might currently have. You have a set of WAF rules that are pretty specific and need to be maintained. And some of them either can be too loose or and have too many of them uh, to be producing false positives and false negatives. In the end, we want to secure our environment, but we don't want to create a condition that our environment doesn't work because our security does have too many false positives. There is actually where we shine. But let's just go over a couple of more things regarding the WAF that is currently out there. Uh, because of all that maintenance and rules and need for catching up, we leave our environment exposed to net zero day attacks, while normal environments have what about 600 signatures, and their detection rate is relatively low, and false positive have a relatively high, 8% a blocking legitimate traffic, uh, and that is not a sustainable environment and requires a bit of automation, requires a bit of thinking per se, so that we just because relying on a signature based protections is very much outdated and doesn't account for variables that are showing up right now, including the variables introduced by AI. From there, we can have also multiple cloud providers that we have adjust to each one of them that to have the rules in there. Some of them can be more efficient than the others. Some of them can more have false positives than the others. But the problem of doing everything all over again in each environment and provide for consistency can be a taxing project. So we have been developing this product, and this product has been out there in variety of forms for over 3 years now. The most recent iteration provides for WAF as a service, fully managed service for your WAF needs. It does, by its nature, fight the zero-day attacks and has minimal, next to nothing, false positives and very high catch rate. We're going to go over that in a bit. So, what is it that makes our solution different? We have invested in AI for many years now. We have a great cooperation with NVIDIA that provides for a ground level building up of our AI infrastructure that is contextual, and it is obviously a learning environment. So there are no manual rules other than exceptions that you might want to make, and you don't have to rely on signature updates. Those are let's say, last year things that might not apply right now or has been a little bit outdated for a while. Uh, the what our AI does, it is about 50 some AI engines living within our threat cloud. That is our environment, which makes the decisions on what is malicious and what is not, based on a variety of multiple feeds, the machine learning and recognizing patterns in behavior, not relying on the signatures at all. Uh, in addition to that, we are doing API discovery. We are providing for baselines and a schema enforcement that would further fortify your environment and not allow for a third parties to not at least not in every shape or form that we can prevent get into our environment and do some damage, whether it is by bot attacks or a any other DDoS types of attacks, or it is simple things like cross scripting or injection or stuff like that, everything that OS 10 does. We can be up and running under 15 minutes, and we do have several flexible options. Uh, so we already mentioned that it's powered by contextual AI. There is real-time reaction to zero-day threats. There is the detection and false positives that are very low. So we have established all that, and in comparison to some other providers out there, we did very well. Um, some of them, some of the providers have high positive rate. Others have uh, high detection rate, but they also have the negative stuff, the false positives and false negatives across the platform. So we are right there in the sweet spot, doing things right on both of those ends. Uh, these are some of the results we had. How we know we are doing all of that good stuff? It is a history of how we did our WAF and how we managed to prevent zero-day attacks that many others weren't able to do. Here are some examples of types of threats that we prevented from day one, uh, and our customers were left unimpacted by some major events that happen in near history. From there, and I'm going fast so I can show some demo as well. So pardon my thousand words a second. Here is some main attributes of our solution. So as it is, we have attack indicator analysis that utilizes around 7,000 indicators, believe it or not, to get and prevent attacks in their roots. Then, well, obviously, AI is big and changes are so fast because AI can be used on both ends of the equation for malicious and for the good stuff, protection. So we have to keep up, and the only way really to keep up is not by collecting signatures, it's by recognizing the malicious activity and malicious content right away and preventing it from doing anything because recognizing stuff by signatures just isn't enough. IPS, again, IPS is more network protection, but there are IPS signatures that are very relevant for WAF, and we have included those within our product. Uh, and the file security, that files are being sent in there, whether it is forms or other things that we consult and upload for any malicious content. And then we are doing the stuff expected from WAF. We are preventing bot automated attacks. We are preventing DDoS in many of its form. We are limiting rate for number of requests to prevent DDoS attacks from crashing your environment. And we do have a auto discovery of APIs. So you might not be available where the API calls coming from or going out to. You don't need to be available. We will do that on your behalf. Going from there, here is how all of that works. At the front end, obviously, we want to filter out DDoS, bots, and limit the rate for attacks that we recognize as repetitious and coming from known or unknown botnets. From there, we are doing the attack analysis, and as you have seen, going to the engines one by one, all the way to the API discovery and going inside of the front end environment. Uh, your data is not used for training our WAF. We are doing it by ourselves. And so there is no data exfiltration. The data protection is your data stays private. And it's not part of any training environment, whether on our end or on a third party end, because that's one of the ways that AI can be used to exploit data from your environment and make it publicly available to people who know to ask for the right things. Uh, there is a continuous training, second by second, and updating. We have several different ways of training, but training by learning, up to 3 days of learning to go in the full prevent mode. Looking at maybe you have some people that you know and appreciate the way that they do business and want them to be kind of the shining example. We can utilize those people to check for what is happening within the environment, whether there are some things that do not a, they do not seem to be in line with what it was happening in the environment earlier. Obviously, that's not the only thing we are looking at. We are looking at other things as well, and then making our decision. What you see on the screen is a traditional method of blocking and approving requests. We are not. Oh, there you go. The WAF, the average has about only 665 signature, which is way below of what actually needs to happen. But in our analysis, what needs to happen, we are break indicators and map them, and then sending suspicious requests to AI, and clearly legitimate requests are approved right away. From the context analysis, they can go either being blocked or forwarded and approved. All these things happens in a matter of second or two, even less. Uh, as I said, about 7,000 indicators that we are looking at. That is the reason why we have such a low false positives and false negative rate, because we are actually managing to get to the root of things and find out whether or not the activities triggered by some actions are actually malicious, and we are not. We are having a high level of certainty when we make a decision. From there, this basically is repeating what I just said. So these are the four major areas that we look at that we use to train our context analysis. So we are looking at the applications, we are looking at trusted users, we are looking at the overall behavior, and we are looking at a single user behavior. So we are, let's say, application runs in certain way, which might imply that something might be wrong. But when you look at the overall crowd behavior and historic analysis, you realize, yeah, that is a legitimate traffic, and we can move on. Or realize that that's not. So that is one of the ways that we are moving forward fast, and we are moving forward with certainty. This is kind of a way of see how these things are utilized, uh, eg- each one of them, whether or not there were an indication in the past, other app users, same indicator, and so on and so on. I think I'm going a little bit ahead, so these slides are coming in as familiar. Uh, One that is the learning period of 3 days. When we are ready, here is some of the things above that we are looking at. As you can see in there, best practices and recommendations of what we would be doing next. And going from there, API security, as you probably know, is a little bit left out there with sometimes minimal security, but is a great source of breaches and putting the environment down. So we have So this guy does it better than I do, but I think the message is the same. We do not rely on just several couple of things. We do go in depth and provide you the schema that will secure your API access and not allow the third parties to access your environment via APIs. From there, these are the API discoveries that we've just talked about. It's important for preventing the sensitive data for leaving your environment. It also looks at every single postget or other API activities and provides you with tools for you to check whether or not certain uh, activities are something you want to allow to proceed. And here in this environment, you can see how we do it, whether how we process it, and how we get to the decision of blocking or getting it analyzed for your decisions. Okay, from there, next thing is we have a monitoring on there that you can go and see uh, what things are happening. All these things that you see on there are clickable, and you can go and, for example, on the right hand side, right now there is a zero tunings, but if you would need some tunings, you can be notified in real time or via reporting. Any way your environment requires. Those can be scheduled reports or real-time notification via a variety of ways. So these are the areas that people can look at. Important parts of the schema, the sensitive data, and then the changes that are made in API calls. And there you can also see in the logs, which again, when you click on any of those, they're going to pop up and give you a further uh, information about PII or PCI keys, secrets, as such things that do not have any place in public running APIs. So, how do you deploy our WAF? Deployment is, as I said, fast, can be under 15 minutes. It needs your DNS record and route the traffic to the WAF as a service, and you are done. Uh, the more traditional ways, deploying it with Kubernetes and on-prem environments, take under an hour, and we do it for you. So it's not something that you have to worry whether or not you did it right. From there, we have uh, there is a way that doing the onboarding as a SaaS. You approve domain ownership and route the domain to Checkpoint WAF as a service. Easy peasy. From there, the next thing we provide a protection for a variety of platforms. These are some of them, and that one, those ones ETI under an hour because depending on the number of environments and variety of the environments, you can have it done by us, whether it is SaaS, whether it is Docker, Linux, VM machines in the cloud or on-prem. We support all of those environments via agent or agentless. So here's stuff that you can do in the cloud. You could have NGNIX, the Linux machine, no matter where it resides. Docker deployments are straightforward, and Kong gateway paths is something that we recently added. So, how does it compare to your native app solution? First, I'm going to make clear that I am not pooping on native app. There's some native solution to cloud that are fairly good, that do their job, but they do have some of the downsides too. One of the downsides is how long it takes to deploy. Management, we do it for you versus you do it yourself. Detection accuracy, we went over that. Uh, Major problem with the cloud native apps, really the false positives more so than false negatives. Uh, API discovery, not provided. We do that major source of major platform from which attacks can be launched. And least but not least, you have maybe you don't have all your applications in one place and you need a multi-platform environment. We provide for that where cloud native environments cannot. From there, again, how does it integrate with our CNAP solution? Uh, these are some of the things that I mentioned. I just wanted to add them because it's important to note that all these things I included can be gotten for complete protection of your environment, not just the front door. So here is attack impact that we analyze, prioritize risk management, then and that obviously is WAF network deployment suggestion at the front end. From there, you have a CloudGuard based WAF. Again, same things, doing through the CVs, going through the process of identifying and securing that the privileges are not escalated, looking at whether in the code whether the privileges are too wide, integrating with variety of identity providers, whether it is for objects or users, and go from there. Then, what have we been recognized by our customers? I think some of the things I already mentioned. We have quite a few customers that have been very impressed by us, and they have also some outside vendors like GigaArm Radar that we are, well, one of the best out there, fast moving and right going towards the center of this. And finally, this is another way that you can see our complete environment. I'm happy to share these slides with any of you. Just hit me up on LinkedIn, and I will be sending these slides to you. And so let's get out of here. I know we are at moment that the presentation is over. If you would like to stay a little bit longer, I can show you the real environment that I can. You can see it in our portal. Pa-pa-da-pa-pa. And let me just share. So here is the checkpoint environment. We have quite a few. Everything that we have is about 50 some products. It's all managed from one pane of glass. WAF is part of it. So we can protect web applications. So here is all that you can find about it. Get what's new, documentation, help, the latest projects that show how our WAF is doing against other ones, and so on and so on. So from there, we can go straight to policy. First, you can onboard all of your assets on here and put it in your policy that is applicable to them and enforce with one click of a button. Assets, as we have noted, can be many different things, like applications like Jira or core web app that is, something that you created or something that might be out there created by somebody else off the shelf. There's a SaaS. So we have all of those here. Each of them will have a quite a few of the like for example Jira. You have lots of information of that about it. How was it onboarded? What the key is? What access control measures do you have in place? What threat prevention is enabled? And this one is in the learn. You can go to prevent or disable it all the way. So I'm going to go to prevent and okay. And then you can go and see what we are preventing: bot attacks and a web access attacks. Then what are we doing for low confidence, for high confidence? What signatures we can upload from third parties, and so on and so on. You can also create your custom rules. You can look at the events that are already there uh, when you click on the application. So let me see if I can this month. So for richness of the things, you can also go and here is the card that you can let's say select one of those and go and look at what actually was happening. The logging, your standard check point, standard, more or less standards for checkpoint, but they are very thorough. And then you can also filter by a variety of things, anything from, let's say, uh, criticality. So you just look at the critical events and what we did about it. And then you can find out what kind of event. So, for example, this one was a web request, the time that it was happened, and how we decided we prevented it, why we prevented it, what rule, and transcript of what happened, what was the action was get to get your data, cross-site scripting, so on, so on. So as you can see, quite a thorough description of each event. From there, we can go into a policy. If we are doing it for you, you really don't have much to do here. You can go to a rule and then see what kind of rules are there. Well, I think we just did over that for, let's say, past uh, 7 days. There were about 8,000 events that we prevented, 10 events that you want to review, and so a learning level that you have accomplished. And then here what logs have we found. As I said, I go straight to logs, and it's easy, it's very user friendly to manage. Then what behaviors We have looked at what triggers are there that you can there add there, and then what profiles do you have for your agents, and you can use those profiles for variety of agents and profiles, whether it is agentless or with our agent. Download the agents here and go from there. Monitor is a great tool, as you can see top attacks, where the sources are, what the days, and then all of those again clickable, leading you to the events themselves. Here, the per assets. Here is what total attacks. So it's like it was like almost 4,000 attacks, let's say, to a customer portal, wiki, so on and so on. Thank you for joining me today. Next month, we're going to be discussing a Cloud Guard network protection, because I think it's very important to have firm network protection that does layer 7, which your firewalls, native firewalls really don't do, but about that next week. Thanks again for joining. Contact me if you want additional information, and see you guys next month.